Morning, Monday, August 25th, 2025. I'm Larissa, my video diary. Been drinking from my skull here. Almost done. Almost done. So yesterday we had a nice Sunday, I guess. Yeah, made breakfast, a nice big breakfast, and then we had a nice walk at Wilder Ranch Park. I like Wilder Ranch. It's probably my favorite California state park, and not because of proximity. Although it is very close to me. It does get points for proximity, but that's not why. It's very beautiful. I like the animals there. The animals there are wonderful, and um, it's nice that the trail that goes along the coast. There's a bunch of trails there that you can go on. There's not just one trail, but I really 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 like the trail that goes right along the bluffs on the coast and looks out over where the seals, you know, where the seals migrate to, and all the rocks where the pelicans and the cormorants nest, and it's just really beautiful, and it's nice and flat and easy to walk. And so somebody like me, who sometimes has some problems with walking, um, it's a good consistent place to go get, a good 2 to 2.5 to 5 mile walk, right? Like on days when I'm feeling real mobile, I can, go out 2.5 miles, come back 2.5 miles, right? Whatever. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice exercise in a pleasant place. The animals yesterday they were funny. So at this time of the year, the ground squirrels aren't like super super. They're not scurrying about because they're not. It's not mating season, right? Whatever. They're squirreling their stuff away down in their burrows and spending time down in their burrows. They're not really out running around with the little ones or whatever. But a couple of them came out on the way back and stuck their heads up, and they're just like, hello. And they're so cute and fluffy. And the birds are just amazing. Yeah, they really are. The birds are amazing there. It was just a real nice walk. And then after that, we stopped at the grocery store and picked up a few things. And then we came home, and um, I took a nap and snuggled with Miss Sassy Lass, a nice Sunday afternoon lazy nap with with my kitty. She was all snuggly. She was. She was. I was laying on my side and kind of had my knees bent, and she likes to get up in the crook behind my knees, and she lays her little face on the heel of my foot. Oh, her little paws, and no claws. She doesn't put her claws out. She takes her little paws and she wraps them around my foot. She's so cute. Yeah, sweet kitty. So we took a little nap and snuggled, and then after that, I made giant crudité trays, um, and we played some darts. That's what we had for dinner yesterday. So like I had what was on my trays. I put a date on each tray, and radishes, a couple radishes. Well, one radish each. And I cut them in half, and some jicama and broccoli. And these aren't like big piles, right? Like there's just like one or two pieces. Some heirloom tomato cut up, fig, and what else was on there? Snow peas and some English peas. You can just shell and eat out of the shell, and carrot. And what else was on there? Oh, a couple little pieces of cheese. I got a lamb chopper and a goat cheese, a local goat cheese. It's very very good. And a couple olives. What else was on there? Oh, these little peppers. These little marinated peppers. Yeah, what else? Anything else on there? I think that's about it. I think it's everything that was on the tray. And some ranch dressing and some I got some crackers. I got some like oh the raw the nut the dehydrated nut wafer crackers, you know, like where you get the seeds, there's all the seeds, and you make little, they have flax seed and sesame seed and sunflower seed and all that stuff. It's like, you know, ground up, and then you make a cracker out of it. Got some of those, and then some crisp breads, to basically crackers to have with that. So we just had that. It was kind of like having a grazing plate, right? And Omar put some anchovies on his. He had anchovies on his. I didn't. I didn't need to because he had the grain on the one cracker and the peas, and that was the protein for me, plus the seeds and the greens and stuff, all that stuff. So there was enough protein on the plate. We played darts. Played a game of darts. Yeah. So it's just a nice laid back Sunday. Right? Can't take those for granted. We don't have them very often. This summer has been so we've had to work so hard moving the gallery, and it's like, okay, now we have some weekends that, you know, we can do things, you know, together. So that's nice. You know. It is, it's nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So today, I don't know. Today I'll probably putz around here, do some stuff around here, the house. I don't know if I'm gonna go into the gallery or not, or I'm just gonna work on editing and things. I don't need to go into the gallery to do that. I have my laptop here. I can just stay home and do it. But there's part of me that wants to go into the gallery. I don't know. We'll see if I feel like leaving the house or not. Is it coffee time?
Yep.
Yay.
There you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. What was he barking about?
Delivering.
Oh. Come up here, sir. Hey. Sir. Bro Delicious. Come here. Here, bro. No? You telling me no? Come here. Bro Delicious. Bro Delota Ding Dong. Senor Pedro. Brody. Oh my gosh. One of the, he was taking pictures of himself on the trail cam. Mark sent me one this morning. And he's like, hey, looking in the trail cam. One of the trail cams. Oh my goodness. Funny. Mr. Brody. Mr. Brody taking pictures of himself. Taking pictures of himself. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what all I'm going to do today. I don't know. Be nice to me. Be nice to me day. I don't know. Maybe I have a couple days. Maybe I have 2 days in a row of be nice to me days. You know. I don't know. When you spend as much time alone as I do, I don't know, sometimes the days kind of mush together. Yeah. I spend most of my time alone. It's preferable to me to having inauthentic interaction, right? It's not that I don't like interacting with people. I do. I just don't like fake interaction. And I just don't like inauthenticity. And I don't want to do something that I don't want to do just to hang out with people, right? If there's somebody whose company I really enjoy and who enjoys my company, you know, that's one thing, but it's few and far between. And like I said, I really I used to think when I was younger that it was important to be part of a group, to have community, right? Like I had this idea of like it was important to be part of a community. And that drove me to tolerating and being exposed to things that were not demonstrative of my personal ethics and values, right? Um, so, and tolerating behaviors that were things that I just didn't, I wasn't okay with. And I'm thinking of like church groups and stuff, and um, joining different, just it's not worth it, you know. Like I've never been a member of the gossip girl kind of culture. Um, I don't like gossiping. I don't like listening to it. Um, and I don't respect it. So it's just, that kind of thing. Eh. I also could not care less about celebrity news, right? Like people I don't know and really don't care about, right? I the whole cult of celebrity, you know, ooh, so and so wore this, and ooh, so and so's dating and so and so broke up with so and so, and oh my god, I don't care. I don't care. There's like nobody out there really making anything, whether it's music or movies or anything, that I give a shit about, right? The work. So like, I mean, why do I care about what's going on in their lives, right? I don't know them. None of my business, right? It's just the way I feel about stuff, you know? Yeah, I don't care. So I don't understand. I've never understood that. Like, see people in those in magazines and stuff. They're not really doing anything that's interesting or innovative. They just have a lot of money. It's like, oh, look at this person. They have a lot of money. Who cares? It's not to say that like if I met somebody who was on in magazines or whatever and genuinely got along with them as a human being that I wouldn't be open to having friendship. But like, I'm not the kind of person that seeks out that kind of thing. And well, I'm not what they call a star fucker. Mm, doesn't impress me. It's not the kind of shit that impresses me. It's really not. So, I tend to not really have a lot in common with a lot of people. Mm, no. Yeah. Oh, we watched this movie. I watched this old movie this past weekend. The Fog. Oh, it was awful. The thing is like it had potential. I guess it's been remade. I don't know if I even want to bother watching the remake though. I mean, the original was so there were things that were interesting about the original. The cinematography was actually interesting, and the color palette, like the saturation of color, and um, that was interesting. The writing was horrible. The writing is horrible, and there are huge holes in the story that the non-dialogue parts of the film do not address adequately. Like you have to make a lot of like stretch. You have to, you have to it's a leap of faith to get from point A to point B. It's like I don't know how um and there's things that were just so egregiously non-plausible that I mean it's supposed to be like a horror film, so there's kind of a fantasy element to it, but the things that are in the realm of reality, like a radio show host calling out on the radio, giving her address, telling strangers to go pick up her son. Even then, even in the early 80s, stranger danger. Like, yeah. It was interesting to see Point Reyes, Petaluma, pastoral area and bodega. There's ones back at that time because I could recognize those areas, the downtown area and everything. It was really interesting because there's like this one shot where they go back and forth between, and it's supposed to be like a continuous um, scene where they're in one place. It's not like back and forth between two places, but it's like supposed to be different angles of the same place. But it was interesting because I'm like, oh, that's Point Reyes, but hey, that's Bodega. Like one side of the street was Point Reyes, the other side of the street was Bodega. And so it was like interesting to see that like as a Californian. So it was kind of an interesting little microcosm of geographical history of the North Bay. Yeah. Yeah. So that was interesting about it. And the clothes were like a little time capsule. But the acting was horrible. And oh, the other thing that was like really weird. So Jamie Lee Curtis plays this woman who's hitchhiking, and she gets picked up by some dude who is like, I don't know what the actor's name is. I recognize him, but he's in a bunch of stuff. But I don't know his name. But he's like not attractive, and they've done nothing to make Jamie Lee Curtis attractive either. And it's like, okay, so ugly people fuck too. But it was just really weird. Like, so she's hitchhiking, which in the early 80s, that was kind of on the decline, right? Bundy kind of took care of that, right? But um so he picks her up, and and they end up like they have this weird conversation where she's like, "Are you weird?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm totally weird." She's like, "Oh, thank God." I was just like the whole it was just like, "No, this is what is this? This is some strange conversation, some strange dialogue, and what are you trying to establish here?" And I don't know, but then they go and do it, and so, like, the next scene is them in bed, and then they introduce themselves to each other, and it's just like, "Oh, we fucked without knowing each other's names." It's just like, oh, it was weird. I was like, "Okay." I don't know. I don't know. Was that supposed to be some sort of commentary on the loose sexual mores of California culture in the 80s? I guess there still was, like, a lot of casual sex in the 80s. I don't know. Until HIV, right? But that was just like weird. I'm like, that's not believable to me. But I don't know. Maybe it was in here then, out here then. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't of young adult hitchhiking, casual sex age in 1982. How old was I? I was like 3 or 4 years old. I was three. I was 3 years old in 1982. Weird. It was funny to see the hair and the clothes. Like I remember my mom dressed like that. The jeans, the cut of the jeans and the sweaters on her and my Aunt Roseanne both. Those fitted, tapered sweaters with the slightly poofed sleeves and the V-neck, like the whole aesthetic. I'm like, oh yeah, yep, I remember that fashion. It's interesting. It was interesting that way, but the writing was like the writing was weird. So like the people who were attacked, this was the other thing. Like the people who exhibited loose morals, they were the heroes kind of, and the people who seemed to be, you know, on a more straight and narrow moral and ethical path. They were the victims. It was really interesting, really weird. The fog, the fog. Anyway, I don't know. I don't want to talk about the news. I don't want to talk about any of it. I mean, sure, it's like out there in my periphery, but my day-to-day reality is very far removed from it, right? So anyway.